everyone. It's George Moore, owner of Moore's Sewing Center in Southern California, and I'm here to begin our Black Friday special presentation of Floriani favorites. And I've got some special guests that are going to come in together in the studio, and we're going to talk about everything that, as an embroidery enthusiast, or as just a person that loves everything embroidery, things that you need that you may not have, as well as offer a very special buy for our Black Friday sale. And don't forget, right now, all the Floriani, the R&K products, you can save in addition to our sale price, 10% by using coupon code Black Friday 10. You can save 10% up to $300 in addition to the savings and the bundles we're gonna talk about. And so before I bring in our guests, okay, and the guest, by the way, is Jennifer Jiggis. That is the COO of R&K, and R&K is Floriani, Quilter Select, and Embellish products. And so we're going to call her the boss lady. Actually, we were joking about that earlier. And then my friend Trevor Conquergood. Trevor is really one of the most renowned experts in embroidery out there, and he loves embroidery. He loves teaching. So before I bring them in, I'm going to start by offering a prize. Okay, so this is 30 spools of R&K matte finish thread that has a retail value of over $180. And so you can like, share, or comment, and you potentially win this. And all of our prizes that we're announcing in all our presentations, because if you go to our website here, we'll put a link up there to our website. You can actually go and view all of our presentations during the Black Friday celebration. So we'll be announcing them after the sale is over. And so let's go ahead and bring our guest into the studio here. Hey, everyone.
Hi, George.
How are you? Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And this is going to be fun. I mean, we had a conversation prior to this, and I think our customers are going to love some of the items. And of course, they love prizes too.
Well, George, I'm very jealous that you started and kicked things off, number one, with giving away a prize. But honestly, I thought you were going to say that we were the Floriani favorites that you were having in the studio today.
Well, let's back up. I could say that because that's actually would be a good thing, but I'm sorry.
That's okay. No worries. So I'm very excited to be here. I love embroidery. I feel very fortunate to have a job where I get to play with all of the toys that are so near and dear to my heart, as well as being able to do this as a job. But I'm going to take us on a little off ramp for a moment, because I do love to quilt as well as embroider. So I'm going to be giving away a copy of Design and Quilt software to one lucky winner.
Okay,
what's
the value of that?
The retail value is $799.
Whoa! Well, I feel second place right now. So again, like, share, or comment, and so now we'll have two lucky winners. What are you going to let her show us?
I would love to give a prize away, George. I'm going to give an embroidery design away. Here's one from my collection. This one's an older one, George, back when the embroidery designs were still stored on paper tapes. Now I'm just teasing. I'm not giving away my paper tapes. That's
actually a historical treasure right there.
That is. I mean, that's like me showing my kids what a floppy disk is. They just kind of go, "What?"
My first embroidery machine read a paper tape, George. That's right. And this is Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club Season 1, and I would love to give this as a prize. If you win this, you'll be joining my website and downloading hundreds of embroidery designs and videos. So this is a wonderful prize for everybody. And that's value $200, George. So that's also a nice prize. You have some nice prizes today.
Wow. That's great. So again, like, share, comment, and we'll announce the winners here. And so as I mentioned in start, we're talking about Floriani favorites, okay? And I know that we've had several sessions of talking about this here. We put it all together, but the thing I just realized is that the first thing that we're going to talk about is celebrating 20 years of R&K. It's their anniversary. I think the anniversary just finished up, isn't that?
Yeah, it's this year. This is our 20th anniversary. And I want to say thank you, George, to you and to everyone who's viewing today, because without the support of all of you out there, it's a milestone we would not have been able to reach. So thank you. And I hope that we do this again when we hit the 40th.
Nice, nice. Maybe not me. I don't know. We'll see. 20 years. 20 years actually went by so quickly. So, there's a special design collection you put together, and it's not a design collection. It's a collection of collections. So there are 20 beautiful designs. No, that's not right. There's 20 beautiful collections. So each collection in itself has sold for as much as, I think, $69. And that's why, if you do the math, this collection of collections, if you bought everything individually, would be just shy of $1,400, and that's legit, because you can still buy them. Actually, some of them can't. I know that some of them was never released. Is that correct?
That is correct. Some of them were only available at special events that we hosted.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so the couple, there's several different ones that are very, very cool. I know, Trevor, you did something. It was in the winter elegance section of this. This is called the 20th anniversary Floriani embroidery collection. But inside that collection, there's one that's called Winter Elegance.
Yeah, look at that one. Oh, it's upside down. Isn't that interesting?
That's gorgeous.
Now, I used some special thread to make that look a little extra deluxe, of course, because that's variegated thread. But the Winter Elegance collection, George, has all kinds of beautiful designs that are part of it.
Oh, look at that. I like that tree.
Yeah. Yeah, there's hundreds of designs, actually, when you add up all the 20 collections. And they're very different ones. Like, this is one of my favorites. If you're going to a barbecue, you might want to make an apron for the chef, because hopefully we all have faith in the chef. But this is from the Say It with Stitches design collection. And you can see how it's got beautiful, really light embroidery. Anyway, the 20th anniversary collection has some of my favorites. Really beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And I like, there's a font in there as well that is really nice.
I did it. I stitched it out, but I made it a rainbow, because normally they're antique look letters, but I thought it would be kind of fun to jazz it up a little bit and give it more of an ombre look, So I used software to do that, George. I used a special program to make that sample like that. Yeah, kind of fun, hey?
Yeah, it is. Hey, got to throw that in there. Hey. All right. For those who don't know, Trevor is my Canadian friend, so he has to throw in the A every once in a while. All right. So variegated. So we're going to talk about that. By the way, let's pop this up here. We have a very amazing deal on this here. We got this design collection, and they do put a retail value. No one, I'll honestly say we're not going to sell this for $1,400, but if you bought everything individually, it's $1,399.99. It's on there. Yep. And it's all on one USB. And we have our Black Friday special of this for $69.99. And don't forget to use coupon code Black Friday. It's actually Black Friday 10 to save an additional 10% off on that. Okay, so that's an amazing deal. But variegated, okay? I love the variegated. We're going to talk more about variegated in the future, but to keep that in mind. That's going to be a theme in a lot of things we're going to talk about. But so here's the thing, and I got my notes here. We got so much stuff here, and so I had to write notes because I forget sometimes because I got so much stuff going on. So this is 20 collections, but I bet you our customers have more than that at home. I bet you they have collections that they've had for 30 years on several machines, and they're unorganized. In fact, they're looking for a collection that's somewhere, and they're looking in this drawer, they're looking with this machine. Jennifer, I can imagine your studio is very, very organized.
I think you were watching me in my studio this weekend, weren't you? As I was like digging around, looking for all the pieces and parts.
That's right. Okay, so what is it that can help them? I know what you're going to show, but what is it they're going to help them?
My design album. It's a wonderful program that can help you sort out your stuff. Sometimes it'll just help you discover what you've already bought, and you can just look through it. It's very visual. It's an albuming program. You can use it to print your embroidery designs out. You can use it to change their formats because, there's a lot of different languages that embroidery machines come in, and sometimes you get designs and they're like totally different
Let's
formats.
stop you right here. Can you show us that?
Of course, yeah. Like my design album is one of my favorite things to show. If you want to bring up my screen, I will show you guys my design. Yeah, so my design album, what you're looking at is actually the designs from the collection, George. It's on the left, there's sort of like the top or like the folders of my computer. And then at the bottom is where I actually get to make my own collection. And see, I made a folder for the 20th anniversary collection, and I added all of it in there. So here's the American applique. And these are all like Americana designs that are done with applique. And this one's called Animal Alphabet. And so I can see them by just clicking on them, But if I click on at the top where it says 20th anniversary, I can see all of them. So it's very different from Windows because now I don't have to go clicking on every subfolder. I could just click up at the top and go scrolling through all of my embroidery designs. And when you find one that you like, if you're like, oh, those are those cool antique letters that Trevor was showing, you could click on it and it'll show you more information about it. If you wanted to print, like maybe you want to take the whole alphabet and do a printed catalog page, you can just do file, print catalog, and it'll allow me to, create like a printable page that sometimes you'd want to show your friends or maybe your grandkids what you have, but you don't really want them messing around with your computer, George, so it's nice to be able to just print it out and say, here, you pick from this list. So these are all designs that come from this 20th anniversary collection that you were talking about. And if you find one that you want to embroider, like I did the antique script letters, I can just click on the letter T and then right click and ask it to open up with my Floriani software. So it'll segue into, and basically pop up inside of the Floriani embroidery software. So my design album is a separate program, but it kind of works with, if you didn't own the Floriani software, then you could have said open with and told it what you wanted it to open in your program if you don't already own the Floriani program. So my design album is a great way to organize.
Okay, so Trevor, I have two questions on it here, and we'll stay on Trevor's screen because he can show. What if they don't know the design? Can they search based on a keyword or something like that?
Yeah, or format, for example. Like if you have a lot, up here are my filters. So if you're looking through like all your embroidery and that it has, starts with a specific number or a specific name, you could type that in the keywords. You could also filter by format. So a lot of times I'm like, well, I know it's a specific format and I'll search for that format. Or if I know the name, if you know specifically what name. So really those are things that are up at the top and it'll just help you find things, George.
So are you, now this is cool. Okay. So you've got different formats. What if they have formats from an old machine that they don't have anymore, but they have the designs?
Right.
Can they read and can they convert?
You can totally, in fact, you can convert them all in one shot. One of the things you might want to have it do is actually watch your computer. You can have it find your embroidery designs. They're called watch folders. And so, this is a folder that I often download the Floriani free monthly designs to. And every time I add new designs to that folder, they actually show up in my pending folder, which tells me that I need to add them to my catalog. And these are like the Floriani sort of designs that I get with, from owning the software. And so the cool thing about watching the folder is it makes sure that I never miss one. It'll always get picked up. And if there's any formats, George, like for example, this is the list of different formats. So this can read all of the embroidery formats, but it also can read all of the quilting formats, like the QLI for all the long arm quilt
Okay.
form. It also works with artwork files and
Wow.
images. So you could even use this to organize your photographs, actually, if you wanted to.
Wow,
But
that's
I have to
amazing.
say that my absolute favorite thing about my design album is that it finds all of those graphics and all of those images. I have the best intentions of being organized, but it seldom happens.
right.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I'm always searching for, I mean, with any of my programs here. So let's come back to me here. Isn't that great? Come back to me. And I want to go over the special here. So let's go full screen on here. Okay. So the special on this here, I've got to make sure, because this is a good deal. My design album has a suggested retail price of $499. And for our Black Friday special, we have it for $249. That's 50% off. But use coupon code Black Friday 10 to save an additional 10%. That's huge. But I'm not going to stop there. Okay. But wait, there's more. We're going to flash that up there. So what I want to do, let's say you bought both that, the My Design album, and the Floriani 20th anniversary collection of collections. Okay. That total retail value of that is $1,898.99. I'm going to offer it for $299. And I'm going to give it a bonus if you buy both of this together. I'm going to give you, and again, variegated is going to be a theme. You're going to start hearing this here. I'm going to give you 5 spools of variegated thread. Okay, this is Floriani variegated thread that would have a retail value of those 5 of $49.95, and that's going to be bonus. So at $299, you get all that, plus use coupon code Black Friday 10, save 10% off of that, and you get the thread. Let's bring the experts in. What do you think about that?
That's awesome.
I think I'm making notes of that Black Friday 10 right now.
Yeah, you're going to tell me that. All right.
Variegated thread is some of my favorite thread to embroider with, George. So if you're including that in the bundle, you got me hooked for sure.
That's cool. And you know what? The quality of the thread is gorgeous. I love the way some of the variegated threads don't have a good transition between colors, and they really did a good job. They know embroidery. They know what embroiders want, and that's awesome here. All right, so we've got a lot to cover here. So the very next item on the Floriani favorites are the tools, and so we're gonna give it over to Jennifer, and she's gonna go over the Floriani tool set.
So, George, that bundle is absolutely amazing. And as avid embroiderers, we definitely need to have a nice set of tools so that we can fine finish all of those designs as we're stitching them out. So this is the Floriani tool set. It comes in a beautiful royal blue so that we all feel like royalty as we're stitching. Each of the tools in the set is a metallic blue, has a metallic blue finish. And then they are all engraved with the Floriani name. And if you were not aware, Floriani means beautiful embroidery. So there's a great pair of tweezers in there. Sometimes you have a little bit of thread that gets caught somewhere where it shouldn't have. So you have your tools to take care of that. There is a pair of double curved embroidery scissors. So they get right down over the edge of the hoop for any trimming you need to do while your project might still be in the hoop. A pair of fine point snips. I love these for embroidery, but I'm one of those people that does handwork too. So I do like to keep these guys handy by because they have that nice fine end. Mini applique or mini duckbill scissors for your applique in the hoop. So again, you've got that little bend so it fits right down into the hoop itself for trimming if you are doing trim in the hoop applique. And then my absolute favorite, every embroiderer needs multiple pairs of these, but they are my little snips. And again, I keep them for handwork, but I also use them for trimming any of those little thread tails. And sometimes you have stitches that are a little closer together than a machine trimmed jump. So that little snip with its little point is going to get right down in there and snip those edges out for you. Absolutely love them. They are a must-have for all embroiderers.
So the special on this, we'll just pop this up in there. It has a retail value of $119.99. The Black Friday sale is $79.99. $29.99 and use coupon code Black Friday 10 to save an additional 10%. Now, the variegated is still in my head. Okay, I can't get it out. So I'm going to take it over to Trevor. And Trevor, let's talk about variegated with the Rainbow software, because I know that's a favorite of yours.
One of the things that's tricky with variegated is knowing if it's going to be just the right fit for your design. I think a lot of times it tricks people. You want to be able to visualize what it's going to turn out like. And so with the Floriani program, it's totally possible to see before you stitch it out. And so that's what I wanted to show. If you bring up my computer screen, and I'll switch over to the Floriani software. Remember, I brought up the T, this is the Floriani program, and I've already got my design, the Winter Elegance, opened up so that I can show you how down at the bottom I could change this to be any color. It'll even closest match to different thread brands. And what I need to do is I need to change to the Floriani variegated thread palette. And now I can basically click to select the design and try on the variegated thread. So this is one that goes light purple and then medium purple and then dark purple. And isn't it interesting to see, the result of what that would look like in your embroidery design?
Really cool.
And there's all kinds of different variegateds that are available if you start to catch on. This is like the whole collection of all the different ones. And so I'm not sure exactly which ones are in your bundle, but I thought I saw like the pink one was in there. And so this is the one that I actually stitched my sample in. It kind of goes like light pink, then medium pink, and then dark pink. And
so Trevor, you showed a sample of the fonts from the collection. Right. Is that something you did with Rainbow?
The fonts? Do you mean, like when I did this letter T, but I stitched it with the rainbow thread on it? Well, so my initials are Trevor Conquergood. So I basically added the T into my screen and added the C and kind of arranged them. You can click on them to arrange sort of however you want and size them, whatever. When you get it to the point where you're like, that's exactly the size that I need for my T-shirt, you're ready to go. But if you want to make it more sort of exciting, you add the rainbow. So to add the rainbow, basically, I select the embroidery and I click on the rainbow tool. And it opens up a special little window that will allow us to color this design in the colors of the rainbow. And so notice that I chose a rainbow theme called Pop Rocks. But it comes with a whole bunch of different ones. And so, maybe you like Neapolitan colors. And so now it's going to convert the words, TC into a Neapolitan color like that. So basically, you can use this rainbow software to recolor your designs. And it will decide, the actual color. So if you want to go with a full-on rainbow color palette, there is one called Rainbow, and then it'll start with burgundy and kind of convert into the, pinks and, end up with purple on the other side. So, basically that's what I had to do to turn the TC into a rainbow. And then if you want, you can bring me back on screen and I can show you kind of what it's got a real ombre look to it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring Trevor back on the screen here. And there we go. Yeah, and I know is that you send us a sample of that stitching out.
I did.
Yeah, and so it's really cool how that works. That's gorgeous. So you showed the Rainbow software within your Floriani suite of software, but it's standalone. So a person doesn't have to have anything as far as software. They can use it and they can take any design and apply a rainbow variation. And that sample you just showed there, that's not variegated thread.
No. So it introduces different color stops into your design. It could be, any number of colors. In fact, you can even use it to do your own sort of shading and blending. So you can tell it, how many color stops you want, and it'll choose one color and choose another color, and it'll create the blending for you. It's a really cool tool. Anybody could do it. It could be your very first Floriani software. If you didn't own any, Rainbow would be a great place to start.
I think that's great. So we've got a great deal on that. It's retailing for $129.99, and it is on sale for $49.99. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you can save 10% by using coupon code Black Friday 10. So let's go ahead and bring both our experts in here. So all three of us here, I have a question, because this happens a lot. Okay, why is it that I can take a design that's, let's say, a purchase from a reputable company, or let's say from a digitizer. Let's say it's from Trevor Conquergood. He digitized, and you're a good digitizer, or your family. I mean, some of your designs are beautiful. Why is it that I stitch it on one fabric and it works great, and then I stitch it on another fabric entirely, and it's not so great? Is that digitizing, Trevor?
Not necessarily.
Okay, all right.
So
Is that
it's a little like one size fits all pants. There's no such thing. And so every design has to work with the fabric and the stabilizer that you're using it with. So although one size fits all pants don't, I think we do have a solution.
You mean we can't get designs with an elastic band around it?
No.
We've got to have a tailored fit. Okay.
We have a tailored fit.
When
you want to talk about that tailored fit, George?
I do. I want to go. Although Trevor has something I can tell.
I just want to say, when I make designs for other people, I don't know what they're going to stitch it on, George. That is the real challenge. So I use sort of the more generic settings for, the settings of the design. And that's typical of any purchase design. The designers don't know whether you're putting it on a tea towel or whether you're putting on a sweatshirt. And it matters. And that's where the software comes in, right? And
so
this.
Your family. Let me stop here, because I got an idea, and I'll lose it in a second. Your family's business goes back. I mean, you showed the tape. Okay, you guys have been digitizing for a long time,
for 40 years.
Okay, so if a customer came into the shop that you once had or still have there, and they wanted a logo, you would know exactly what they would want to put it on, correct?
But because I'm doing the job, so then they come to me and say, put this on my t-shirt. That's right. So I know.
Okay, so that's the key. So I want to talk a little bit about the Floriani Fusion. So here's the thing. Okay, you take a design. Okay, like this frog design. This is a design on the screen that is professionally digitized. And why is it that sometimes it shows up like this? I mean, it's just awful. Okay, and we just described it. We just described the problem is that, like on knit, it's difficult to sew, and it wasn't designed for knit. It was designed for cotton, and so it's all distorted. So Floriani Fusion, as well as their top model FTCU, has one feature, and the one feature I would say is worth it for every embroiderer to have. I don't care what software you have. You can have several different types of software, and that's good because each one does something wonderful, but no other brand has Save to Sew. And so what I do is I use one button, Save to Sew, on the same frog, and what it does is when I select that, it basically redigitizes it to stitch out like this. And so that's why the Floriani Fusion really makes a difference. But let's take it back to Trevor. And Trevor, you could show us a little bit more about the Floriani Fusion software. So we're going to go, Trevor, you have your computer ready?
On my screen, sure. So Floriani Fusion has the Save to Sew button, and it can be any design. George, it could be the design that we just finished rainbowizing. Now we're going to click on the magic button, Save to Sew. And with Save to Sew, the first question is, what are you sewing it onto? And there's a large list of recipes that you can choose from. And these are all based upon the Floriani family recipes. So, boy, if you thought I've been doing embroidery a long time, the Florianis have a lot of family recipes. They're wonderful recipes. If you choose that you're putting it on a baby onesie, and then you check here, that'll allow the software to make the changes to the program, and you say next, and it begins to analyze the design. And it's analyzing, does it have enough underlay? Are these the best densities? And now it comes back with a recipe for how to properly stabilize, because that is equally as important. You know, the design needs to be done well, but so does the embroiderer need to know about things like Floriani, you know, power mesh, and how you can fuse the mesh onto your baby onesie and use the perfect stick. This is a whole recipe on how to do on a baby onesie, George. And
It gives you the formula for the right stabilizer. And I will tell you, the sample I showed of that frog, half the battle was stabilizing.
it
It
sure is.
really,
And if you're like, what the heck is perfect stick? You can click here to watch a video or click here to get the product info, and just know that you can order it from George Moore on his website. So
awesome. So that's awesome. Now, also, I mean, I told people if they needed one software for that feature alone, it's worth it. But you know, this also is a full-featured software. So maybe show some of the favorite things on the
there's so
software.
many fun things you could do with the software, George. I mean, first of all, you can digitize. If you want to, you know, go right at making logos, or, you know, even just doing cute little clip arts, there's a wizard. And I don't have to do too much other than select the image that we're going to create embroidery from and follow through, you know, and answer some questions like, what size is it? And how many colors do you want it to be? And the software will analyze it. Basically, it vectorizes it. So it takes it from a JPEG and it turns it into an actual embroidery design. You know, questions like, do you want it to lock and trim? But when I say finish, it will have made the embroidery. You know, so
That
now,
easy.
yeah. And if you're like, oh, that's cool, but, you know, now I want to edit, and you can select the parts of this design and change them to be any kind of embroidery if you'd rather do a run stitch outline. Of course, you've got a nice 3D sort of visualization and the ability to watch it stitch on your screen. I mean, I don't even, just when I stitch out my regular designs that I purchased, I always open them up on my screen, George. I'll, you know, use my library to browse to the different sort of folders of my computer, and then I'll bring the designs in so that when the machine stops and says the next color is red, you know, well, I want to know, is it the chimney or is it Santa's hat? You know, and I like to choose my reds, you know. And anyway, so you can digitize, yes, but you're going to want to add text. I know you will. And it's got all kinds of text capabilities. We've got horizontal text, circular text, vertical text, monogramming. You know, if I click to add text, it will put down the words my text. And obviously you're not meant to embroider the words my text. You're meant to come in here and type in, you know, whatever you want it to say. I'll make it say George, and then click apply. But then it comes with dozens of different fonts, George. I'm not sure, but I want to say it's 70 or more, because I have more because you can add them. So not only does it come with an amazing set of fonts, you can also look at the true type fonts. So notice that in my properties box, I can use built-in embroidery fonts or computer-based fonts like your true type fonts. And there's lots of cool fonts to choose from. Probably some of my favorite ones are they're multicolored fonts, George. Let me bring in one here. I'll just start a new workspace and show you. If I go to my library, there's an area here that says fonts. And so, for example, when you buy any Floriani software, you'll get all of these fonts. These are the old-fashioned monogram letters. And if I just bring in, you know, whatever letter you want to, you can see how beautiful they are. Another collection I really like is the fancy anniversary script. And those ones are very kind of decorative like this. Props. I think I saw this on Jennifer's table back there, the cosmic retro letters, and she had done some of those. Here, bring me back screen so I can show you how beautiful these things stitch out, George.
All right, go ahead and do that.
That's the fancy anniversary script. The thing that's really cool is they're totally sizable. You know, it's not like when you buy designs that are like a static format like PES. These, you can take them and make them bigger and make them even bigger, and the software will generate all new stitches for them.
Those are all in the Fusion software.
Yeah, all of these multicolored fonts come with the Fusion software.
Oh,
that's right, George.
That's so cool. So the first thing about software, you can't have too much software. I mean, a lot of you have different variations of software, but the Fusion is a powerful program, and it's a great great buy. And remember, it has Save to Sew. So if you don't have that feature in your Floriani, because you may not have Floriani software, you need it for that feature alone, but it has so much more. So this has a retail value of $1,299. And that's worth it, because a lot of software is, well, their top model software retails for well over $4,000. And this now has Save to Sew, but we have it for $599. I had to double check my notes, because that's amazing. And amazing. The coupon code does work. Black Friday 10 to save an additional 10% up to $300. But I want to do something better. Okay, this is Black Friday. I want to make this wild, and this is going to be crazy. I don't even think that Jennifer knows about this here. So plug your ears, Jennifer. Okay, I want to include it with the Fusion software at the same price, $599, and then 10% off of that. I'm going to include that tool set. That tool set has a retail value of $119.99, and I'm going to include Rainbow, that Rainbow software, which has a retail value of $129. I mean, that is all free for $599, less the 10%. Let's bring the all three of us up on the screen here. Is that awesome. Crazy?
Yes, George.
I'm in shock. It is absolutely amazing.
$599, amazing price for that bundle.
Big disclaimer. While supplies last, I may not have enough of these here, so you got to act on this. And by the way, Black Friday, we posted this early because Black Friday is coming up, but you don't have to wait till Black Friday. I mean, you see this video, you can buy it now. I would not wait. And so that is.
You can start stitching out all of those designs if you are tasked with cooking on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day. You can have your embroidery machine running while you are tending to the things in the kitchen.
Or if you're tasked for eating.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I will say, some people's out there, oh, come on, George, help with the cooking. No, I do dishes. That's my job. I'm the dish person, which is awesome, because then my wife can relax. So we're looking forward to that. So that's a great deal. But now it's all about Jennifer. It's all about you.
All right.
Because you put together your 12 favorite items. Okay.
I did.
So where are we going to start? Let's take it over to Jennifer.
Well, in no particular order. So I have put together a few of my favorite things, but where I want to start, and where I think as embroiderers we often start, is with thread. So this is the 10 spool Winter Tidings thread set. And I love these colors. And although it's called Winter Tidings, these are colorways or color variations that are going to work with a number of things. There are 10 spools in here. And I think way back some point in time, Trevor mentioned that there are designs that go along with this particular collection. So there's a QR code on the back that will take you to a download page where there are some additional designs for you to play with. Now, coincidentally, for those of you that are working with multi-needle machines, you can thread your 10-needle machine up so that you have your palette of Winter Tidings threads ready to go to stitch out. And George, did you want me to go ahead and share the Black Friday special pricing for this?
Please do, yes.
Okay, so this is available to you for the low price of $39.99. And somewhere on, here we go. This particular pillow top was stitched out, and it almost to me has sort of a mid-century modern feel to it. And it was using one of the fonts that is in Fusion and in Rainbow software. And then here's another one that was done again in the colorways. And so just depending on how you mix and match them, it's going to give you a very different and very unique effect.
Okay. So now, $39.99 and then you coupon code Black Friday 10.
Now, one of the designs that is included with the QR code on the back is this snowflake design. And I think Trevor did something even a little extra with this.
So let's go to Trevor.
I did. I love that snowflake. And I actually turned it into a freestanding lace embroidery to hang on my Christmas tree, or maybe it'll get attached to a present, like a little, present tag that you get to keep. And I used some of the mylar, which makes it extra sparkly. But that design, if I show you on my screen, It's actually not a lace design. I needed to use the fusion to make this into lace. So if you don't mind, bring my screen up and I'll show this
Okay,
quickly.
so
Right. And so I have the designs, they come from the design. When you buy the thread box, there's 3 little beautiful snowflakes in there, some cool little, designs. I just opened up the design. Now, if I stitch this onto the water dissolving material, George, it probably would not hold its shape. It was not meant to be a freestanding embroidery, but all I have to do is select it. And then this is a button that we normally use for towels. It's called nap control, but it also works really great to create a mesh background to support the snowflake. So basically it was just a matter of creating a mesh background. And then if you want to go ahead and come back to me on full screen, you'll see what I'm saying, that's the snowflake needed the mesh to hold it up. And I sent you pictures, George, of me sewing this on the Mylar. So you can get an idea of how I hoop up the water dissolving and I put the Mylar on top and then I embroider that mesh onto the Mylar. Then you tear it all away. It's like a topper. And of course, I used metallic thread just to show how beautiful.
yeah.
The
Well, that's silver thread.
Beautiful metallic thread.
That's our #1 seller, that silver thread. I happen to know that.
One thread break, George. It sewed beautifully.
I think I was talking at the same time here. What you just said? There was not one thread break?
Single thread break. I sewed this entire design with the Floriani metallic thread. I didn't do anything to it. I just opened it up, added the mesh background, sewed it onto the water dissolving and the Mylar, and I didn't have a single thread break in the entire design.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's because it's Floriani metallic thread. Okay, keep that in mind.
Special type of thread.
So now, Trevor, I want to have you talk about the next favorite because I know you did another sample, and that's the high loft dimensional topping.
Oh my goodness, George, the high loft dimensional topping. Basically, it kind of looks like fleece. It's a big, white, thick material, and it creates a very raised look to it. I don't know how well that kind of shows up. I also have one, I did green on red, but can you get a sense for how 3D that is, George? Because honestly, this is one of the designs from that 20th anniversary collection. It's called Winter Tidings. And, Winter Tidings is the one with the lace snowflake it's called Winter Elegance. So it's not it's from the 20th anniversary collection. And
but you can use this on any design. Is that correct?
Yeah, this design was simply one here. These 2 designs are from the same set, and look how absolutely different they turn out. This one was sewn and variegated, and this one was sewn on top of the fleece, just in a single color.
So what it reminds me of puffy foam, but puffy foam you have to have a specific design for it. This you can use with any design to give like a 3-dimensional look.
Yeah, and then you wash it is what it is, because otherwise you'll have a large white piece of fleece over top of the special topper, and it's water dissolving, and the embroidery captures the fibers of the fleece so that everything else washes away. And this is very soft. Like when you feel this, it's a beautifully it's nice and soft to touch is what I'm saying. It doesn't make anything hard about it.
Okay, so let's come back to my screen here. Thanks, Trevor. We've got that is a regular price of $52.99, on sale for $37.99, and it has you can use coupon code Black Friday 10. That's just a cool item. I mean, everybody. I don't care if you've just been starting with embroidery or you're a seasoned embroiderer. This is something that you should have, and a lot of people are not aware of that. Now, Jennifer, let's talk about something else here. You had something else on your list. I think it was called Color Topper.
I do. And so we're going to take a look at this pillow here. Now, one thing with the high loft batting, and George, you mentioned it was very similar to puffy foam, but it's soft, right? Puffy foam stays underneath and adds the loft to your satin stitching, where your high loft is going to rinse away and everything's going to stay very, very soft. So color keep topping. So high loft could be used in something like this and also help to keep my fibers down. Color keep topping And we have for you, by popular request, it's a multi-color pack. It has one of each of the 5, or a piece of each of the 5 colors. It looks like a little bit of almost like plastic sheeting. And its job is twofold. One, I used it behind this lighter coloring lettering in order to keep the black fibers from showing through my threads. If you've ever embroidered, let's say, a snowman on a very dark fabric, and all of a sudden he doesn't look like he's white snow anymore, color keep topping helps with that. Or on something like this, again, where you don't want the color of the fibers behind it to show through. Those of you that do machine applique or embroidered applique, if you're using a very light colored applique fabric over a dark or a printed colored background, your color keep topping is going to keep that background color from showing through. And if you have not yet opened up the world of Fusion software and that nap blocker that Trevor was talking about, if that's not accessible to you yet because you haven't used your Black Friday 10 coupon code, then you can also use your color keep topping to hold the loft down on something. This is minky. I don't know if you can tell that from through the power of camera or not. So that is a product that I always keep in hand, is my color keep topping. And again, it's now available by popular demand in a multi-color pack, which George is offering on his Black Friday sale for the low, low price of, is this true?
$10.49.
Is that right?
$10.40.
Wow.
$10.49. Yeah. And less the 10%. So that's great.
That's huge, huge. So it's a great tool to keep in your embroidery toolbox.
Okay, so the next one, I'm sorry for jumping the gun, but
okay.
The next one is another cool item that a lot of people are not aware of. And I just have to get you to talk about SoFab foam, because I've seen some samples.
So, when George asked me to narrow it down to 12, or maybe I think I picked 12, because our time is limited here today. SoFab foam. This is one of those products that a lot of people are not really, really aware of. It is traditionally used, well, here, let's just open this up. It is traditionally used for adding shape to bags, if you make tote bags and that sort of thing, right? So it is fusible on one side. It's nice and soft, but it has structure. Remember I mentioned that quilty thing? I love using it for pillow tops, because do you see how much texture you get when you quilt through your SoFab foam? So this was quilted and then embroidered over the top. It's going to become a pillow, but I ran out of time. And so this is one of those beautiful fonts that does live in both Rainbow and Fusion embroidery softwares. And it was stitched out with the color threads from our Winter Tidings thread collection. Should I keep going?
Yeah, well, actually, there's a lot. My mind is kind of wandering on this, because I'm just thinking that let's back up to that sample. That sample is just like a cotton fabric that you fuse the SoFab. Okay, my projects are going to be changed forever, because to get that effect, I would make a quilt sandwich just to get that little thing, and that's a lot of work, a lot of wandering, just to get that effect. So you just fuse SoFab foam to that,
and just used it like batting, and it gives you a much higher loft than you would get with something that's traditionally quilted through a batting.
And a lot easier to control.
What's that?
A lot easier to control. You're not getting the slippage.
Exactly. Absolutely loved it. And you can use it on your domestic machine or a long arm.
Awesome. All right. So the special price on that is it's regular $12.99. It's for $9.49 less your coupon code Black Friday 10 for 10% up to $300. And you can add up. Yeah, again, your maximum discount is $300, but all these items can have that discount, which is awesome. Now, by the way, I don't know if your family does this. We do stockings, Christmas stockings. You can buy some really big stockings and hang above your fireplace and put SoFab foam, Fusion. All these things can be stocking stuffers. Heck, I always tell my customers, I have a big enough stocking. We can put a sewing machine in there if you want. So that's awesome. So
we'll make a stocking big enough.
All right, so Jennifer, now I just want those are the items that I talked about special, but there's 12 items. So why don't you finish up the rest of them, and we'll bring it all together on a special for all 12 of your favorites.
Okay, so I think we've hit 4. Trevor talked about the Mylar. And what's really nice about this particular iridescent Mylar is it takes on the color of whatever thread you use it over. So there's no need for multiple different colors of Mylar. The iridescent Mylar takes on all the colorways and is absolutely beautiful. We talked about the high loft dimensional topper. Trevor also used the metallic thread. This is a silver metallic, and with the holidays, a little bit of sparkle is always nice. Back to that quilted piece, it's quilted with a metallic. So when the light catches it, it's just that little bit of sheen. And I know that you want the best possible results. And I'm sure that Trevor used a metallic needle with his metallic thread so that he did not experience any thread breaks in the creation of his snowflake sample. I do like to mark my centers of anything that I'm embroidering or stitching so that I know where I'm going. And I particularly like this self-erase mark pen. 2 big reasons. One is it's a felt tip on the end, so it doesn't drag on my fabric. So I get a much more accurate mark. But the other end is an eraser. I like to mark, do my thing, and then erase right away so that I don't forget I have markings in there. It does dissipate over time, but it's just personal preference. I want those markings gone as quickly as is possible. Snips. No embroidery arsenal is complete without a great pair of snips. So I keep a pair in multiple places throughout my sewing space. That beautiful collection of 20 design collections that were, by the way, hand selected through our archives of embroidery designs to bring you something that was not only a wonderful value, but also incredibly beautiful, and a walk through our most beautiful embroidery designs in our 20-year history. And, I'm going to come back to that one. All embroidery requires a firm foundation, right? So we have included in our list of, or in my list of 20 favorite stabilizers, this is a fusible no-show mesh. I use a lot of this particular stabilizer because I do work quite often with medium weight cotton type fabrics. This is also a great stabilizer to use with knits because it is a fusible stabilizer. It'll keep your knit from stretching, and you don't want that fabric stretching underneath your embroidery. But when in doubt, you're going to run it through your Fusion software, and Save to Sew will tell you exactly what you need. And then my final favorite, for those that are newer to embroidery software, or you're just getting started, or you're just looking for something kind of fun, Rainbow software, we've mentioned it multiple times, and it is a great way to recolor designs, to convert embroidery designs from one thread brand to your Floriani embroidery thread brand. It has all of those beautiful fonts that Trevor showed, and we showed on some of the pillows that are here, plus many, many more fonts that are included. And if there's anything that an embroiderer loves, it is to personalize and customize projects for the holidays. So these are my 12 favorite Floriani products for the holidays. And
Thanks, Jennifer. That's awesome. So let's come back here. I'm going to go over this again because that's a lot. Okay.
It was a lot.
We're going to number this off here. So number 1 is the Winter Tidings 10 spool thread set. And remember, that also has 10 designs. Number 2 is Floriani no-show fusible mesh. Number 3 is the metallic needle. It's actually size 8012. And then also that goes with the metallic silver number 44 thread. I got to mark. I did that out of the order. So that was number 4. Number 5 is the Select self-erase marker. Number 6 is the Floriani Color Keep, the multi-color package. Number 7 is the Floriani High Loft Dimensional Water-Soluble Topping. Number 8, Embellish Mylar Thread Sheets. That's for the sparkle. Okay. Number 9 is Sew Fab Foam. Number 10 is Rainbow Software. Number 11 is the anniversary collection of design collections. That's 20 design collections. And finally, number 12 is those Floriani squeeze and snip tools. So 12 items. Total retail value, if you bought them individually, is $1,792.38. Black Friday special for Jennifer's 12 favorite things, $199.99. And yes, use coupon code Black Friday 10 to save an additional 10%. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. So let's bring everybody in together here. That was wonderful. Awesome stuff, Jennifer.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That's a fantastic bundle, George. Wow.
Yeah, so this is crazy. This is crazy good. That's why they call me Crazy George. So one of these days I'll tell you the history behind that. But a lot of people just know that I give crazy deals. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. I know our customers are going to love this here. I think that this would be a great gift idea to buy the Fusion software and then the 12 favorites and hide them and have a note to go to each item in the home. Have you ever done anything like that?
No, I love that. Almost like an Easter egg hunt for Christmas.
Yeah, but or have it where you have 12 boxes within a box, within a box, within a box. I've just done some crazy things. So I don't want you to forget to use the coupon code Black Friday 10 to save additional 10% up to $300. If you have questions, you can email us at customerservice@moores-so.com. My wife, Lorena, is the one that answers you. You can call us at 1-800-865-9664. And don't forget to like, share, comment. We got the prizes. We've got the 30 spools of thread, and we have the design and quilt software, and then the Floriani, the Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club. All right, so that's a lot of value. So we'll announce that at the end. Thank you, both of you, for joining me.
Thank you, George, for having us, and thank you all for watching.
Happy holidays, you guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.